Hey everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to make a bracelet today, and I'm going to use some of the beads that came in the most recent Dollar Bead box and Dollar Bead bag, the one for February 2024. I'll put a link in the corner of this video and in the description box below to the unboxing video I did for this subscription in case you want to watch it, where I go over everything that came in the box and the bag. I have a coupon code, it's THJ2, and I'll put it on the screen here and in the description box below, along with a link to the page to sign up for the subscription if you're interested. The coupon will save you $2 off your first box if you sign up. I'm going to be using the 5 and 6 millimeter fire polish beads that came in the box. These are, the color is jet green travertine, and I'm going to be using the 5 millimeter fire polish beads that came in the box. The color is moss green luster. I'm going to be using from the Dollar Bead bag the 3 and 4 millimeter fire polish beads. The color on these is burnt sienna. I've got a toggle clasp from my stash. I'm going to be using some Muki 11.0 and 15.0 metallic dark bronze seed beads. I'm going to be using my 6-pound fire line in smoke. I've got a size 12 beading needle. I'll be using my chain nose pliers to flatten the thread to get it through the needle, and my scissors to cut my fire line, and my thread burner. And I think that's everything. I'll put links to everything I can find links for in the description box below, everything that didn't come in the box. So hold on, I get some of my beads poured out and I'll be back. Okay, I've got some of my beads out here now. I've got both colors of my 5 millimeter beads and my 6 millimeter beads and my 11.0s. And I'm going to go ahead and put my toggle, one side of my toggle on right away. I like to try to do that if I can, just to get that part done. And it also helps when I'm measuring the bracelet to try and figure out how long I'm making it. So I'm going to start out with my jet green travertine beads. I've got 2 of my 5 millimeters and 2 of my 6 millimeters. I'm going to pick up a 5 millimeter, a 6 millimeter, a 5 millimeter, and a 6 millimeter. And I don't have a stop bead on because I'm just going to tie these into a knot. And I don't usually tie knots when I'm doing bead weaving because the knot tends to get in my way. But these beads are pretty big, so I don't think that'll be a problem. And I don't need to leave a long tail to put my clasp on, since I'm going to put it on right away. And by the time I get done sewing through all these beads and burning it down after I cut it off and everything, it's not going to come loose. So I'm going to tie it into an overhand knot. And now I'm going to switch hands and tie a knot the other way. Pull it good and tight. And now I'm going to go through my 6 millimeter bead there just to get away from my knot. Now I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. I'm going to pick up 9 of my 11.0s. I'm coming out of this 6 millimeter bead. I'm going to go around this 5 millimeter bead and into the other 6 millimeter bead. Just make a circle of beads around that 5 millimeter bead. Now I'm going to do that again. Pick up 9 more 11.0s. And I'm going to go around this 5 millimeter and into this 6 millimeter bead. And pull that all up tight. Now I'm going to put my clasp on here. So I'm going to pick up 5 11.0s. One of my 3 millimeter burnt sienna fire polish beads, and another 11.0. And I'm going to go through my clasp. Now I'm going to come back down the 11-0, the 3mm bead, and 2 of the 11-0s and under the 3mm bead. I'm going to hold on to my clasp and pull the slack out of my thread. Now I'm going to pick up 3 more 11-0s. And I started coming out of this side of my 6mm bead. I'm going to go on the other side. And I just want to come out that 6mm bead. I don't want to catch any of those seed beads. Now I'm going to go back up these 3 11-0s, back into the 2 11-0s under the 3mm bead and the 11-0, the 3mm bead and the 11-0 above the 3mm bead. And the reason I'm putting quite a bit of distance between my clasp and my bracelet is I want to do that on the other side too, because on the bar side you want to make sure you have enough room for the bar to be able to come through the clasp, and I want it to be the same on both sides, so that's why I'm doing that. So now I'm going to go back through the clasp, go back down the 11-0, the 3mm, the 2 11-0s under the 3mm. I'm going to go through these 3mm or 3 11-0s on this side. And I'm going to go back into this 6mm bead. Now that's 3 times around my clasp. I'm going to go around, I mean that's 2 times around my clasp. I'm going to go around it again. But before I do that, I'm going to go around this unit again, or this unit before I go back around the clasping again. I'm going to go through 4 of these 11-0s. And I'm going to skip that 5th one and not go through it, and go through the 4 on the other side of the 5th one. And I'm going to go on through that 6mm bead. And I want to make sure that my thread goes in under that 5th bead so that it'll pop out there. Like that. Now I'm going to do that same thing over here. I'm going to go up 4 of my 11-0s. I'm going to skip that 5th one and go in to the other 4 11-0s. Make sure that thread goes in under that 5th 11-0 there, so it'll pop up there, pop out like that. Now I'm going to pick up 1 more 11-0 and I'm going to go up these 3. Just to fill in that little gap there. And now I'm going to go back up these 2 11-0s, the 3mm, the 11-0 above the 3mm, back through the clasp. I'm going to go back down this 11-0. Get my needle in there. The 3mm, the 11-0, the 2 11-0s under the 3mm. Now I'm going to go down these 3 11-0s on this side. And now I'm going to pick up an 11-0 to fill in this little gap here, and I'm going to go down these 4 11 O's and that one that's in the middle there that I made stick out. Now I'm going to go through these 4 11 O's and through this 6mm bead, just the 6mm bead. Now I'm going to cut my thread down, not all the way, I'm just going to cut it down, leave a little bit of a tail. Got a dozen pair of scissors around here and they're all terribly dull because I've used them so much. Now I'm going to take my thread burner and I'm going to burn down this piece of thread that I left. Okay. Now I'm going to start on the rest of my bracelet. I've got one side of my clasp on. And this is going to take a little bit longer than most of the bracelets that I do because this bracelet is a little bit more involved. It has quite a few more steps than bracelets that I usually make, but I'm going to try to make it not be a terribly long video. So now I'm going to pick up one of my other 5mm fire polish beads. Moss Green Luster is the color. And one of my 6mm beads and one of my other 5mm Moss Green Luster. Coming out the bottom of this 6mm bead, I'm going to go in the top of it, and I want to just come through the 6mm bead. Don't catch any of the 11 O's. Now I'm going to go around all these beads again to tighten everything up. Come back out this 6mm bead. And now I'm going to pick up 9 more of my 11 O's. And I'm going to skip over this 5mm bead and go into the 6mm bead. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pick up 9 more 11 O's. And I'm going to skip over this 5mm bead and go into this 6mm bead. And don't catch any of the seed beads. Now I'm going to go up 4 of these 9 on this side. I'm going to skip that 5th one and go into the other 4 on the other side of it and on through that 6mm bead. And I'm going to make my thread popping under that center one so it'll pop up there. Now I'm going to go through 4 on this side. I'm going to skip that 5th one and go on the 4 on the other side of that 5th one and on into that 6mm bead and just the 6mm bead. And that popped in there pretty good for me that time. Now I'm going to go back through these 4 11 O's here and that one that I made pop out there. And then I'm going to go through these 4 and into this 6mm bead. Now this time I'm going to use my other 5mm, my jet green travertine. Yeah, jet green travertine. Pick up a 5mm, a 6mm, and a 5mm. Coming out the top of that 6mm, I'm going to go on the bottom of it. I'm going to sew around all these beads again. Until I'm coming out this 6mm again. Just the 6mm. Now I'm going to pick up 9 more 11/0s. I'm going to skip that 5mm and go into the 6mm. And then I'm going to do that again. I'm going to pick up 9 more 11/0s. I'm going to skip that 5mm and go into this 6mm. Now I'm going to go up 4 of these 9 that I put on this side. Miss that 5th one. Go into the 4 on the other side of that 5th one and on through the 6mm. Make that 5th one pop out there, make my thread fall in under it. Now I'm going to go through 4 on this side. Skip that 5th one. And go into the 4 on the other side of that 5th one. And on into that 6mm bead. And make sure that my 5th bead there in the center pops out. Now I'm going to go around all these beads on this side again, all these 11/0s, the 4 and the one in the center that I made stick out there. Don't get caught around my whole entire bracelet. And go through these 4 here and come out that 6mm. So that's what I'm going to keep doing until I get the length that I want. I'm going to alternate between, like this next unit, I'll do 2 of my moss green. I'll do a moss green, a 6mm, and a moss green. And then the next unit, I'll do a jet green travertine and a 6mm and a jet green travertine. And I'm going to alternate like that until I get to the length that I want. And then when I come back, I'll put on the other side of the clasp. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got the length that I want now. And I said I was going to come back and put on the other side of my clasp, but I'm going to do it exactly the same way I did this first side. And I don't want to make the video a whole lot longer doing the same thing I've already done on this side. So I'm just going to do that off camera. And, you know, if you need to, you can back up and see how I did this side, but it's going to be exactly the same way. So when I get this side of my clasp put on, I'll come back and I'm going to do some embellishments down the side. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got the other side of my clasp on here, and I put it on just exactly like I did this side. And now I'm coming out this 11/0 here at the tip where I put on the 8 and made the one in the, or put on 9 and made the one in the center stick out there. And I've got my 15/0s and my 4mm burnt sienna fire polish beads. So I'm going to pick up 2 15/0s, a 4mm bead, and 2 15/0s. And I'm going to go from the sticking out bead on this unit over into the sticking out bead on this unit. Put that in there like that. Now I'm going to pick up 2 more 15 O's, a 4 millimeter, 2 more 15 O's, and hop over here to the next sticking out bead in the next unit. And I'm going to do that again, 2 15 O's, a 4 millimeter, and 2 15 O's. And I'm going to hop over and go through that sticking out bead on that unit. So I'm going to do that all the way down this side, and then when I get down to the other end, I'll come back and we'll sew over to the other side. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got my beads down one side here now, and I'm going to sew over to the other side. So I'm coming out of this bead at the tip here where I put in my last 2 15 O's, 4 millimeter, and 2 15 O's. I'm going to go up these 4 11 O's here on the other side of that tip bead. I'm going to go through this 6 millimeter bead. And then I'm going to come onto this side, and I'm going to go down these 4 11 O's and come out that bead at the tip there. And now I'm just going to do the same thing down this side that I did the first side. I'm going to pick up 2 15 O's, a 4 millimeter, and 2 15 O's. We'll go from the sticking out bead here into the sticking out bead on the next unit. And then 2 15 O's, a 4 millimeter, 2 15 O's, and go from this sticking out bead into the sticking out bead on the next unit. And I'm just going to do that all the way down this side of the bracelet, and then when I come back I'm going to do an embellishment up the center, and then we'll be done. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got my embellishment down both sides done now, and now I'm going to put an embellishment down the center, and then we'll be done. We're almost done. So I'm coming out this tip bead here where I put in my 2 15 O's, my 4 millimeter, my 2 15 O's. I'm going to sew up into these 4 11 O's. Here. And I'm going to come in through this 6 millimeter bead, just the 6 millimeter bead. And my thread's trying to get a knot in it. Right here at the end, and my thread's trying to get a knot in it. Okay, so now I've got my 3 millimeter burnt sienna beads here and my 15 O's. So I'm going to pick up 3 15 O's, a 3 millimeter, and 3 15 O's. And I'm coming out this side of this 6 millimeter. I'm going to go diagonally into this side of this 6 millimeter and pull that embellishment down there. And now I'm just going to do that again. Pick up 3 more 15 O's, a 3 millimeter, and 3 15 O's. Coming out this side of this 6 millimeter, I'm going to go diagonally into this side of this 6 millimeter. Pull my embellishment down. I'm going to do that again. 3 15 O's, a 3 millimeter, 3 15 O's. I'm coming out this side of this. No, where'd I go? I got my thread somewhere that it's not supposed to be. Oh, there it is. I'm all right. thought I had it caught somewhere it wasn't supposed to be. Okay, let's start this again. 3 15/0s, a 3mm, and 3 15/0s. I'm coming out the top of this 6mm. I'm going to go diagonally into this 6mm. And you do have to be careful here and make sure you don't get caught around anything. So I'm going to do one more and then I'll leave y'all alone, do the rest of it off camera. So I'm going to do 3 more 15/0s. A 3mm, 3 15/0s, coming out this side of this 6mm, I'm going to go diagonally into this 6mm. Just make sure not to get caught in any of the seed beads when you go through there. Pull my embellishment down. So I'm just going to keep on till I get that done, and when I get done I'll be done, and I'll flip it over to the back and do 3 1/2-inch knots and end off my thread, and then when I come back we'll see what I've got. So I'll be back. Okay, so there it is. I'm all done now. There's my bracelet that I've made with some of the beads that came in the most recent dollar bead box and dollar bead bag. There's some beautiful beads in there, of course they always are. And like I said, if you're not subscribed to the box or the bag and you decide you want to be, that coupon code will save you $2 off your first month if you sign up. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. I also sell gift cards and some extra beads and findings that I have. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and my email. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, I hope y'all have a great day. Take care.